Welcome back to this old 2500. I'm your host, Bob Vila. This comes with a really nice set screw, like a grub screw, and you can Loctite it, and it's countersunk, and it's beautiful. I have these M8 black bolts laying around for when I do nut certs, so I just drilled a hole into the crown of the turbo, and the bolt goes right into it, so it can't come off. It's going straight down into the lip of the turbo. There's, the bolt anyway, much nicer. I will be taking this on and off on the dyno for fun. Without a doubt, it might rob some horsepower, but a chicken can't get in there is the other thing. Also, what's nice is it's very easily removed with this single 10mm bolt, boop, and it comes off. We'll see how it goes. We'll report our findings back tonight at 7. We installed this map sensor. It is a 2.5 bar. It has a blue top on it. I guess it supersedes the LS9 or whatnot. Excuse me. LSA, LS9. This guy, it's got a blue label. I think I've seen it on people's cars on the dyno. So this guy is definitely a 2.5, which means it'll read 21 pounds, 26 pounds, depending on your elevation. But yeah, 2.5 bar, not a 3 bar. So that's in idling. I recorded some of the idle audio. The next big ticket, the intercooler piping, has to at least get started. I have an AEM wideband laying in the bottom of a drawer down there that I'd like to put in the downpipe to facilitate intercooler wideband, and then a little bit of wastegate hose connection. I'll probably make it as absolutely simple as possible. Wastegate is extremely light. I bet it makes like 1 pound of boost. That's a fantastic place to start, contrary to popular belief. I have cut a bunch of stuff out of here. I have the intercooler piping. They give you all sorts. I don't even think I'm going to use all of it. Some of it's for like a mass air meter for the other kits. It comes with a bunch of things, so I'll figure it out. It even has like this for a pressure source, or this for IAT. I'll probably have Tom weld a neater thing than having so many couplers. Does that make sense? Or we just leave it alone, or we'll figure it out as we go. For right now, I am going to bolt this stuff together and then put what I was trying to do is trim it and slide the piping in around the headlight, and it was taking so much time that I'm like, Mr. Dude, take the headlights out and put the piping in and then put the headlights in. They kind of go on top of it anyway. And I said, thanks, bro. You're a real bro. So we got this guy in. It's time to start putting the headlights and bucket and everything back in, but one boosty boy. I will have to move the battery. That's not a big deal. I could shove it down here. I could shove it back there. There's a factory mount that puts it here. I'm interested in that and seeing how it would fit. Maybe I can even ask Collis Truck Parts if they have one. Let me know, guys. I might have to get a different size battery. That's like the average size truck boy, but I don't know if it's meant to have... I don't think I screwed myself on that. That's important. The fuel stuff the battery can go a lot of places, even on the roof. One issue we got, this connector puts this so far out that it's straining all the other connectors. So I'm going to eliminate it, and you can cut these. You can take the V off and just cut it, and then you have this lip right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I need it to make up the space. Every other angle just turns it too far. I'm actually driving over to Tom's. The alignment is awful. It's real bad. But yeah, just driving it. I'm just gonna have him do some custom intercooler stuff because there's things I want to change and do that don't adhere to the kit. And it's way easy. I was gonna have him weld one or two things and run it back and forth, but I'm like, hey, you know what? Why don't you just adopt this kid for the weekend? Take him out for pizza.